Oh, hi everyone and welcome to this episode of Rotting Shadows. Before we go around and say hello to everyone around the screen, please take a second to check out these announcements, starting with our social links. Don't be socially distant, be distantly social. Use the internet. Hop on the Discord, hop on the Twitter. Hop on Twitter, I'll get you a game. Send me a DM, I'll get you in one of our 5 viewer games a week. We'll get you playing some D&D or another TTRPG. Discord, come and talk about RPGs with us. We love it. Fill it up. Come on in. Say hi. You'll be welcomed. Guaranteed. And if you don't want to do either of those things, but you still want to consume a whole bunch of content, over on my YouTube, there's 6 seasons worth, 12 shows per season, each season roughly 36 hours. That's a lot of maths. It's probably over 1,000 hours of content over there. Should keep you going for a month. Hopefully. So go and check it out. Also, check out our fantastic sponsors. Let's start with the newest sponsor, Dungeon Fog. If you want to create maps for your players to check out, head over to Dungeon Fog, okay? When you add elements to their maps, the GM notes dynamically update to include the things that you include on that map. So your GM notes are kind of partially written for you. So check that out. It looks like a lot of fun. Also, if you use the code Scratticus, you'll get a 10% discount on their premium features. But there is also a free tool over there, so you can try it out before you buy it out. Next, check out Hero Forge. Hero Forge, with all of your magical miniature needs, you can currently get grayscale ones, but very soon, these full color minis from their recent $3.1 million Kickstarter will be available. Keep your eye on the channel, because as we go forward over the next few months, we'll be looking at their prototypes as they release them. Also, check out the Deck of Many. The Deck of Many Things is a donation reward today. If you would like to donate to well, see what happens, you certainly can. But also, we have the Humblewood campaign, which is available in their stores. Imagine you can order it online, and also it's here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Remember to support your local goods store, okay? If your local goods store can do delivery, make sure you check in with them. We don't want to see our local game stores going out of business during this pandemic, okay? And the same goes for Mage Hand Press. Dark Matter. I know this book is definitely in your local game store because they recently signed with Diamond Comic Publishing. So this is another one that you can get in your local game store. And currently they're doing 25% discount on all of their PDFs if you head over to their website. If you like space and you like D&D, this book's for you. Let's go around and say hello to everyone, shall we? Starting with our wonderful DM of the day, Witherbrick.
Hey, I'm Ray. I'm with a brick, and I'm going to be here running this awesome adventure for all of these awesome adventurers. I'm really excited to get into today's episode, to be very honest with y'all. I've been waiting to see how you deal with everything I'm throwing at you. But yeah, you can find me at With a Brick on Twitter, on Instagram, on everywhere. I just made a cool and convenient link tree. So if you find me on Twitter, I have a link tree there that has all the links to everything I do. And yeah, that's where I am mostly. So yay.
Fantastic. Well, let's head around and say hello to our players. We'll carry on clockwise around the screen and go next to It's the Riddler. Riddler, how you doing?
Oh, hi there. I am doing very fantabulous. I am It's the Riddler. You can call me Riddler, you can call me D, you can call me Devel, whatever you so choose or feel most comfortable with. I am a voice actor, musician, fool of a person. You can follow me on Twitter at the link in the chat, and I am excited to roll some dice with some friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Next around, we have the very magical looking today with the floaty green, Madam Gandalf!
Oh, hi. It's wonderful to be back. My name is Madam Gandalf, and I'm really excited to be playing Eva once again because I cannot get enough bard stuff in my life. Plus, we need saving plot, and we've got so much... The drama keeps piling on. I swear there's something big that we're going to discover soon that's going to change everything, and I'm scared as to what that's going to be.
What? Twists, turns, not in my Christian D&D campaign. Next around we have Panita. Panita, how you doing?
Hi everybody, I'm Anita or Panita. You can find me on Twitter. Link is in the chat. I do a couple things on Twitch. I stream here. I stream at Joshua Barbeau's channel on Wednesday. Season finale tomorrow for our game. And also I'm doing D&D sketch streams on my own channel now on Sundays, Sunday Sketches. So check that out. Very excited. Very nervous.
Sketches are so good.
What will Ray throw at us next?
Well,
Sketches are so good.
Aw, thank you.
I think it's about time to find out. To recap, thanks to last week's hype train shenanigans, Ray has a disgusting number of disadvantages there. I can't even count how many disadvantages you've got there. I think it's somewhere in the region of 10. We all have 2 nat 20s to use at our convenience, except for Anita, who's already used one. And we all have... Well, me and Dee have 2... no, I have 1 advantage. Devel, you've got 2 advantages. Anita, you've got 3 advantages. And I think, Alex, you also have 3 advantages to use. So, there we go.
Sounds about right.
With no trepidation, but plenty of excitement, Ray, I hand over to you.
All right, here we are. To recap a little of the last episode, the party decided to traverse onto Profit from where they currently were in the city of Neofa. They had spent the night once again at the Fish Hammock Inn after another successful show and some revelry and some fun. In the morning, Axel came by and basically said, hey, if you could check on my friend when you get there, that would be great. And basically told you to get in contact with Hugar the Humble in Profit. So you traversed out, you got some horses, you all named your horses, some beautiful names, and rode out to Profit without an issue. And upon arriving in the township, you sought out an inn for another potential show and a place to stay. And while the rest of you kind of went about and eventually found Hugar the Humble's abode, which just looks like this awkward, small, cut out piece of a castle spire that's just kind of like plugged into the city. And you go in and it ends up being this large, lavish home. So you go inside, he welcomes you in, you kind of sit down, you have a conversation about the craziness that happened that you saw in Ophio with the Displacer Beast and the people that he sent there. He said that he had been traveling in the Feywild to try to find resources for a potential cure, and then mentioned to turn Cassandra back from her liquid state, which she woke up in, to her now physical state. He needed a gullet, an oil gullet from a basilisk. So after being presented with that information, you all kind of mulled it over a bit, and he said, well, hey, why don't I cook some dinner? We can talk about whatever we need to talk about, ask any questions about this little quest that you need to go on for this ritual component. And now you all sit in Hugar the Humble's humble abode. Still floating around are like little teacups and stuff. If you are interested in partaking at all, he has moved on to the kitchen. He is in the kitchen preparing. You see a bunch of stuff. He's cutting up some vegetables while there's a pot brewing. It looks like he's making some sort of stew. You just see behind him, like on a separate countertop, is a knife that is like cutting up some meat, but there's no one, working it. It's very like Beauty and the Beast-esque, the way things just are kind of moving and animating. They don't have faces and they're not singing, unfortunately, but they're just kind of moving about. And you see as you all look up and kind of take in the scenery one more time that a lot of his house functions without him touching things. Like you see he has a little bookshelf, a reading area that the books are like rearranging themselves. And you see the carpets are kind of like flying about with little, you see these little like mice that have like tiny brooms and dustpans, and they're like dusting and helping him clean. And besides these little animated mice, you don't see anybody else besides Hugar in the home, but there is just like a bunch of moving elements, things kind of like moving across the room as you look up. And it kind of like goes into this crazy expansive space. It's much, much larger than you anticipated, but he is in the kitchen and you all are still sitting in the little like welcome foyer area. And the table. Cassandra, you are still on the table, and everyone is still sitting around. What would you all like to do?
Miss
I think for the most part, Cassandra's just sort of still trying to futz about with the physics of exactly how her form works within this bottle. Just like a gyroscope, just like turning. You know how when you first get into a game and you don't really know the controls and you just tilt the camera everywhere? She's kind of doing that, where she's just like looking all around.
Perfect. What's everybody else doing?
Miss Knox, are you feeling all right?
I mean, liquidy. Other than
And
that,
as she's moving and trying to orient herself and like figure out how to move about the vial, you do see like swift changes in the way that the liquid is moving. Like you can audibly see her trying to move, or physically.
Actually, quite fascinating to watch.
oh well, I'm glad I'm serving as a petri dish for you.
Sorry, I meant no offense.
Swish, swish, swish.
Swish, swish, swish.
It's sort of hypnotic.
It kind of is.
It's not the first time I've been told that.
Well, I think I'm going to go help our host in the kitchen, I suppose. Nothing better to do around these parts.
Well, or we can brainstorm ways on how to find and kill a basilisk, you know.
They're not that
Yes.
hard to take down if you know what you're. Oh, Cassandra sort of looks at the three of them. Oh, nines. Yeah, give me a second and I'll try and plot out a crash course, and she'll sit down in the vial and just start trying to think over everything that she knows about basilisks from her training in her previous encounters with them.
Give me a, you can do either straight intelligence or history if you have history.
Okay.
Thank you very much to Kent Weebs, who's donated 5 subs. And then V's Knees, who's followed up straight away with another sub, and Sphinx Row kicking off the hype train. Thank you very much, everyone. Hype trains are rewarded in these parts. Level 1 gives us all 2 advantages. Level 2 gives Ray even more disadvantages. Please, that cannot happen. Level 3 gives us all 2 natural 20s. Level 4, we all draw from the deck of many. Level 5, all of that stuff happens.
And Finny, did you say that you are going to help cook and prepare dinner?
I suppose I would do my best to assist in some way or another, at least at the table.
Okay, so as you walk into the kitchen, what's the first thing that you touch?
I think I would reach. I would be like, the dishes are. I was going to help set the table.
Oh, and he like takes his left hand and kind of like flicks it outwards, and one of the cupboards in like this circular corner of the room flies open, and it's stacked with dishes.
All right, I'll grab some plates.
As
That's the
you start
first
to
thing I
grab
touch.
these plates, the first 3 of them spontaneously combust into flames in your
Oh,
hand.
Apologies.
You got the touch.
You got the power.
Don't worry about it. Things like this happen in my home all the time. Just toss them in the trash. And he flicks his fingers again, and there's like another bucket that comes out. That's like a waste bucket. If you just want to toss them. It looks like a black hole, basically. Oh, did we lose you? Did we lose you, Finny?
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're very focused.
Yeah, very focused.
Well, I rolled a 16 on my history check for
Yeah.
Basilisk.
Not a problem. So what you know about basilisks with a 16 in your history of traversing the plains and adventuring, you've come across maybe 1 or 2 or have heard some stories, and The one thing that you know for sure is that you have to be very, very careful around them, because if you meet their gaze. I'm thinking about donuts. If you meet their gaze, they have this petrifying stare that if they stare at you in your eyes and you stare back, you can become petrified if you are not careful.
Yes, of course. You guys blew through that hype train. We're already 25%.
Oh my goodness.
26% of level 4 already. It's popping off, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Maharishi came in and dropped
Thank you
5
so
subs as well. Kent Weaves is raining bits on us from a great height.
You're
My
all
goodness.
so very sweet and kind.
Goodness.
You beautiful buggers.
Yes. We appreciate the support. Cassandra will likely turn to whomever is. She knows that Finny sort of stepped into the kitchen for a bit, so she'll turn to her lovely performer friends, Ava and Barry, and she'll say, "Well, I don't think it's hard for you all to put together. I'm sure you've heard legends of basilisks, the most
fresh."
Yep.
We're in the wrong overlay. Yeah.
All together.
I was gonna say we're not even in the right place. Oh,
okay,
come on,
people are distracted by a hype train. We're fine.
People
we're
are
good.
distracted.
We're at 87% for this hype train, and we still got 3 minutes left.
Keep
There we
that
go.
hype train going.
Like Alex coming in with some subs dropping as well. Thank you for the rehost D&D.
Sneaky little sausage.
We just hit level 5 hype train, so everyone is doing everything.
We just hit it. Yeah!
I'm gonna be turned into a gas.
This entire story is just gonna be fueled by this deck of many pulls. Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, I love it. I love this so much.
I'm just gonna keep going through the different states of matter until one day it will just go full circle and I'll be a solid again. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, we all know what this means, right? I'll update the overlay in a second, but first of all, before we dive back in, shall we do the deck of many?
Yes!
Okay. So let's go the
it.
other way around this time. And Ray, I'll get you to draw for me first.
Okay. Let me write these down. Okay, we're gonna have you stop right there.
I get the Vizier.
Okay.
Then next, Anita.
Stop.
That was decisive.
Comet.
Comet. Okay.
Okay.
Alex.
Stop.
Rogue.
Okay.
Oh my.
I'm so excited. I'm so
Devel.
excited.
Stop.
Jester.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
I was hoping to get the void again.
If you got the void again, I just would have kept you in the vial. There would have been nothing you could have done. Oh, sorry, this
You're just like
basilisk
genie
isn't
in the
gonna work
bottle.
anymore. Yeah, you're literally turned into a ghost.
Weak
Gotta
signal
find a
can't get you out.
super
Sorry.
basilisk.
Yeah. Now you must fight 10 basilisks at once.
Goodness.
I wouldn't do that. I would not do
All
that
at
to
the
y'all.
same time.
All at the same time with the same weapon.
The holographic effects on the deck of many is super awesome.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
beautiful,
I love
even
that Jester
from
one.
over.
It's a shame it green screens so much behind me, but the way that the Jester moves
Yeah.
is very, very satisfying. I think it's my favorite
pretty
card.
great.
So good. I have the unanimated version of the deck of many, but still,
Awesome.
the art is still very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I can hear a bit of
Ready
background
to-
noise from someone, some sort of.
So,
It's like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Right. You ready to dive back in?
I think we are. I'll send you across all the cards so you've got a note. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So, you did your check on basilisks. You were having the conversation with Eva, if I'm not mistaken. Eva and Barry, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Then we will start back up there for y'all.
So Cassandra will just sort of mention, I'm sure you've heard all the legends and tales. You're going to want to avoid the gaze because it can petrify you, which is less than fun.
So don't look them in the eye. Don't get near their mouths.
Or the front claws.
They have fangs, right?
Yeah. They also have front claws. Then there are the back claws. Then there's a tail. And that one time I saw one with spines. That was a bit odd. You guys will do fine. I fully believe in, oh man.
I can see it now because I'm just looking at this table of like performers and
Eva's like strumming her
a bit
lute.
more of a quieter bookworm type, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know, it wouldn't be our first tally with doing something that wasn't just illusions, I guess. We have some hope, right, Bazza?
Yes. Wait, who am I? Talking is bad. Yes, we've got plenty of hope. Plenty of hope indeed. What are we talking about? Sorry, I was a million miles away. I was really, really enjoying my pipe.
I'm gonna be a potion forever. She just sort of like leans back.
As Eva reaches over for Barry to share.
Does Finny like squeak when the plates ignite in his hand? Is there like an audible noise at all?
Just like the sound of the glass like stress cracking and shattering. Oh, hot. Then throw it into this metal trash can so hopefully the fire doesn't spread anywhere.
Yeah, and as you do so, it's almost like a black hole. Like he opens up this like waste bin, but there's nothing in there. So when you like dump it, it just kind of like disappears. It's a little off. It's off-putting at first.
Probably the same principles as my bag, I would assume. So, I turned to Hugar. So you were saying basilisks. You wouldn't happen to know where we may find these beasts?
Oh, well, it's been a while since I've come into contact with anything like that. However, I would assume that the dwarves in the mining town up north, just slightly, before you get to the rocky range of Paramus Rise, there is a little bit of a settlement there, and I know that there's been a couple of mining troops that have gone through the area looking for new resources. I'm pretty sure that there's one still there. You might get more information if they've seen one around. As for exactly where, I'm not quite sure at the moment.
That mining settlement, yes. I believe that was mentioned to us previously. That was where the young girl who was afflicted with this came from.
Yes, actually, that is correct. That is where Tuva is originally.
Yes,
well, that's where Tuva moved to. She's been helping out in the mines and doing some research over there for a while. I've come into contact with there. I guarantee you'd get some more answers up that way.
Yes. It seems that everything not necessarily stems from that place, but a lot of disparate connections. Strange.
It is. I've thought the same things, and I wish I could go with you on this venture, but I just got back and need to do much organizing of all the things I brought back from the Feywild. So unfortunately, I can't go with you on this trek, but if you do find anything, will you let me know so I can maybe investigate it further?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a storm here, sorry.
Okay.
It kind of fitted with the music and everything.
Kind of, yeah. Absolutely. We'll be certain to contact you. As soon as we know anything, I can definitely prepare sending and contact you if needed.
Perfect. And here, and he'll reach into his robe. He'll kind of open a pocket, and you see the pocket kind of extends way further than it should. And he kind of like reaches deep into it and pulls out 2 stones. And he taps them together and whispers in the one, and then taps again and whispers in the other, and gives you one of them, and they are glowing purple. And he basically said, and he looks at you and says, "These ascending stones, however, they work at a longer distance and for a slightly longer amount of time. If you need anything, just let me know through this. I'll be right here, right on the other end."
Certainly. Thank you. Again, for your hospitality. This is quite nice here. I've never felt at home like this for a long time.
Well, it's all the pleasure is mine. Like I said, I used to be an adventurer myself, and I find a lot of solace in taking care of those that still go out and do good work. It's not always easy to be the ones to fight and to figure things out that the laymen usually don't want to figure out themselves. So I try to do all I can for those.
Your sound just went really loud and weird.
It's been doing that lately, and I am so sorry. Give me 1 second.
Well, you're good now.
Yeah, it went fine.
That was like a jump scare there.
Yeah, I do apologize. I think it's just my computer, unfortunately.
It's all right.
Yes, adventuring was not something I necessarily had planned to do myself. Until, I guess, things had different plans for me. I used to be much like you as well.
How so? I mean, I see that we, are of the same cloth. However, how same is that cloth?
Similar in some ways, different in others, I'm certain. I told you previously of my story. But I was happy to retire. Happy to live out my life, and then that item we found changed everything.
If you could go back, would you?
No, I don't think so.
Then you know that you are still on the same correct path that you have always meant to travel.
I suppose. And Finna will take the dishes and go and set the table, the ones that are not currently burst into flames.
Of course. And as you take them and turn around, there is like this grand hall that ends up opening up that you didn't see there before. And there's now a long, large, dark oak table with these great grandeur tables with chairs with nice green velvet on them. It's very homey. There's a candelabra in the center and like little bowls set out already for every seat. And then as you go and set the table, you see like the little mice come up and start like polishing the sides of the table and like the legs of the chair and just like making it all a very nice and homey environment for everybody.
One scurries up with a little fork and sets it in place.
Yeah, basically it's like hobbling and like sets it on the table and like positions it straight and then moves to the next one, and you see it's like almost like a caravan of like these little mice crawling up and putting down one utensil and then scurrying off.
Wizards, I swear.
Hey! What's wrong with wizards?
Nothing at all, Barry. Nothing at all.
Yeah, what is Barry doing in all of this? Is Barry just enjoying his pipe hanging back? Like what's he doing? What's he thinking about in this moment?
Yeah, outwardly it looks like Barry's just enjoying his pipe, but like on a different level, he's kind of checking out the competition. Like, his whole business plan for being here was being a powerful wizard, and this humble guy's playing the humble routine. Like, come on. Like, what's his angle? What's he doing here? What's
Barry, give me, as you're kind of looking around and surveying the scene, give me an investigation check.
I certainly shall. Investigation, did you say, or insight?
Investigation. Or actually, no. Your choice. I'll give you your choice.
I would definitely prefer insight. I am
Wait,
wisdomous.
yeah.
I am wisdomous, but not very smart.
Perfect. All right. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you very wisdomous when it comes to wizards and the competition of other wizards. As you survey around the room, you do see like up on some banisters, there is some like shelving, some extra shelving, and you see like awards almost, like gold pendants. You see one that has like a laurel on it, and right next to it you see like a little plaque that says, town saved by Hugar the Humble, and then there's like a couple other names below it. You do see like a couple of trophies around the same area of just like, there is a mind flayer head, and there is a like what looks to be a cased small, like about the size of a ostrich egg, a little bit bigger, and like there's a small plaque underneath it that says baby green dragon egg. And like there's just like all these like weird things on his wall. And as you turn around, you see that where the books are in that little reading nook, right underneath it is like a bunch of like photographs, for lack of a better term. They are just like all photographs, and you see Hugar in a slightly younger state with his arm around a bunch of other people, and they all seem to be dressed in adventuring regalia, and they have like the same pendant on, the same laurel pendant. And there's a couple other photos of just like him with other various people around, and just like one looks like a king. He's got a crown with like a nice like scepter and stuff. There's another one with what looks like to be a princess who has a nice tiara, and she's wearing a nice regal ball gown, and he's dressed really fancy. Like, you're getting the sense that he was once a very well-known figure, and this is just kind of how he now lives out his retirement, and just basking in the nostalgia of his glory days.
I'm getting okay. So I'm getting the retired, not competition vibe.
Very retired, very like dad who keeps his trophies right where everyone can see them in the family room, so that he can tell the stories of his good old days. Like, very that vibe. Like, it's precariously perched so that there's something, no matter where you look, that kind of like points back to his origin days, his younger days.
Okay, I'm just sort of taking all this in. I'm warming to the idea that he might be okay.
And what is Eva doing in all of this?
Eva's probably eating, drinking, going over in her head all the tales and stories that she already knows of basilisks from her bardic training. Probably trying to think of inspiration that she might be able to draw from different heroes that have defeated basilisks in the past and things like that. It's almost like that's kind of her way of preparing for a battle, is not to actually look up anything useful. It's like, what did the heroes of the past do? And how maybe a little bit of this one and a little bit of this one with the flair of this one, but the grace of this. Oh, but we can't forget the armor of this one. Like, yeah. Yeah,
and as you do this, actually, you all start to see these like projected images that start to float out of Eva's head and kind of like come up into the general space, and you see these like projected images of these heroes in these small scenes that she is putting together, like creatively, like using her bardic inspiration to kind of fuel her getting ready for this battle. You see them kind of emanate out of her, and above you, and Cassandra, you can even see this because you're in the same room, even if you're in the bottle. They are kind of like very mist they're moving like this, but they're like little scenes, and as one kind of flows away, another kind of comes in. And when she's kind of like mentally going, okay, the armor from this one, you see the armor come off that figure and move to like a phantom figure, and she's like, oh, well, the grace, and like she's kind of like, you see her physically manifesting this like perfect sort of like fighter to go fight a basilisk based on all of these stories.
Hold on a second, wind back a little bit. Yes, that shade of purple. Yes, that one.
Absolutely. Gotta bleed purple, Fran. Gotta bleed purple.
And as this is all kind of like happening, Hugar comes in the room, and you see he's holding 2 bowls, and then like 2 more bowls are like floating above them. And he says, well, dinner is ready if anybody so chooses. And he like turns around and starts to go into that separate little corridor. And as he says that, Cassandra, you start to levitate, and you are like slowly brought behind him as he like sets a nice special little place for you.
Cozy.
And as you sit in front of your bowl, you soon realize that there is metaphysically in front of you, in this weird conundrum space you are in that physics just defies because I so let it, there is now a bowl of what you suspect is ramen. There's like a nice home-cooked ramen bowl for everybody. There is a nice little egg on the corner, and it is pork. Unless there is a vegetarian, then there's a vegetarian option, or vegan, depending on what type of dietary restrictions your characters are on. But there is a little bowl of ramen for everybody sitting at the table, and he sits down at the head and welcomes everybody to sit.
Don't mind if I do.
Well, sit, please.
Oh.
It's a favorite recipe from over beyond Neofa that I brought back on my adventures. I figured I had everything here. I would cook it for all of you. I hope you enjoy.
Yes, thank you. Vinny will
Very nice.
quietly.
And you see the little mice are now coming up, and they are like dragging napkins to put on the table next to everybody. And you have a nice quiet little meal with Hugar. He doesn't say much. He's just more so letting you all just have a peaceful evening without badgerment. And after the meal, the bowls start to rise. As soon as you're done, like as soon as you physically show or say that you are done or full, you just see the bowl kind of levitate and go into the dish pit, and you can hear the clunk in the sink with all the bubbles, and the water start running, and it's all kind of like doing their own dishes behind you.
Man, I want that.
Yeah, that sounds so good. Eva's gonna be kind of quite a messy eater overall. She's kind of given up on the idea of really like having manners, I suppose, unless anyone ever like tells her otherwise, and she'll do the like part kind of thing. But otherwise, yeah, unfortunately, it's like a pig at a trough. Really.
And,
What a nuts.
as this is all happening and like you're all just enjoying this evening, Hugar kind of like stops eating for a moment and pushes his bowl forward and just looks at all of you and says, so what is the plan? Have any of you actually fought a basilisk before, or am I sending you off to your deaths?
Well, guess who has experience?
I have years ago.
Oh, don't keep it bottled up. Just tell us, Cassandra.
Never gets old. Always funny. Finny,
Was
you've
it?
fought a basilisk before?
My youth.
Huh.
Long time ago.
Well, tell us the story. Why the basilisk? How did you come upon it? Was it a random encounter? Was it something that you intended to go after? Or did it kill like a family member and you had to go after it? Or it killed your puppy and you had to go after it? You know, did you tell everyone that your name was something to do with Wix?
Nothing that exciting, I'm afraid. There was a temple we were set to delve into, find its secrets. First layer had basilisks taking up shop. within. Dispatch them. One of my fellows was turned to stone, but the cleric of our party managed to quickly reverse it, thankfully, mercifully. But otherwise, it was quite successful. But like I said, it was years ago.
It's still a good start.
I've heard that clerics have the ability to sort of revert or prevent the petrification. Is that something that's in your repertoire?
I believe I can assist with that. The removal of the poison or lesser restoration before it takes full effect would perhaps stem the petrification. But it would have to be applied quickly, otherwise it's a greater, little bit beyond my powers.
Well, there's not too much to be said. We head towards the mines, try and track one of these things down. They usually nest pretty deep inside, so we have to plan to make a bit of an excursion inside. And I'm sure the Basilisk tends not to scare off everything around its nest at the very least, so prepare for a bit of a crawl through the mines, maybe some other adversaries, but we'll have to be careful. Hopefully we won't need the backup or the removal of the petrification if you all are careful. Barry, you might be able to get a bit creative with this thing.
Me,
They
get
have-
creative? Not impressive.
Yes. Their gaze is not something that they themselves are immune to, so if you would be able to reflect its gaze, we might be able to turn its petrification in on itself. That would be a last-ditch effort, though, because I believe that would petrify the gullet, which we need, I would assume, to be...
I actually just have a little bit of an idea. Well, through the clever application of some illusions, you could potentially avert the gaze by placing a sort of illusory mask over top of it.
Interesting. Possibly.
I like this, and we're about to have a long rest, right? So I can just waste spell slots. I'd cast darkness on the room.
Something like that could work, yes, but that would impose a bit of a problem with actually physically hitting the basilisk. I was thinking perhaps a major illusion, creating some sort of a mask over top of it that we wouldn't necessarily be able to perceive through, would sort of stop the gaze.
An illusion we choose not to see through.
I can do
kind of
this.
like giving it a little safety helmet.
I can do this for myself and one other. I dispel the darkness and turn invisible.
That would allow one of us to approach it from its hind flanks.
Yes, but then that puts... if I were in play, then maybe... Sorry, Eva, go ahead.
There's two of us who can go invisible. So maybe we get in completely unseen.
Interesting.
Unseen to them, but so that they can't look at us. You can't see me, or I can't see you, so you're invisible? Thing that children do?
Yes. Hugar, how far is this trek to the mines?
Oh, about a half a day. It's not too far out of the township. That's why the township mostly exists, is just a stopping ground for most people if they need to go into the mines or come out.
I say that's quite close to the town, isn't it?
It's only a couple hours out. Maybe 4 or 5 if you're lucky.
Hey, hang on a second. Hang on. Let's tell people that we're gonna go and do this. Think of the rewards. We could get a small audience outside the mine. Build a
Barry.
bit of fame.
Barry. Slow your roll.
Hugar just like looks at you with like a weird glare and just like goes back to kind of like souping up his ramen as he just like lets you all just keep talking.
This is Hugo. This is kind of his thing. It's fine.
I'm surprised you're not a bard yourself. I see the illusion magic wafting off of you, but I thought you and the pretty one over there with the lute, I thought you two were like a band or something.
Actually, Barry is still carrying Lucy, Eva's old lute.
Oh, is it on his? Is it like in a pocket, or is it like physically on you?
It'll be physically on me. I dabble. I'm, didn't make it my main career.
Eva's
Fair
going to be
enough.
looking like eating with a bit of a like eye roll of a facial expression right now, like really.
Yes, actually, I can play the pan flute quite well.
Oh, interesting. And as you say that, a nice pan flute just kind of like wafts down and sits on the table. By all means, if you feel at all the urge to entertain, my home is your home.
I guess you are giving us bed and board, although I did also set up some arrangements at a nearby bar. Actually, I didn't really confirm that.
Play the pan flute.
Fine.
All right, now that he can't talk because he's playing, I think a more realistic idea would be to try and do this not necessarily quiet. Things are never quiet dealing with a basilisk for long, but I think we just need to try and get in, get out. Don't press our luck too much. I don't particularly like the idea of 3 non-melee combatants going up against a beast like this, so
Wait!
I'll just try and...
Take away the
Yes.
pan flute. I was playing badly. I've got a brilliant idea. We gather the audience, right? We go in and kill the thing, whatever we do to it, very quickly and take its gullet. Then I made your illusion another basilisk, which we take outside and fight in front of the adoring audience. Think of the
Or-
money.
Plan B. We get in, kill the basilisk, take the gullet, I turn solid, and then I throw you down a well. Hands for plan B?
I
I'm
would
torn.
propose Plan C, which is the same as Plan B, but doesn't involve throwing Barry down a well.
That sounds less fun.
A little bit, but
I must admit, I'm torn.
perhaps better for Barry in the long run.
Cassandra, I'm very sorry. It seems you've been somewhat injured by perhaps your recent jarring experience.
Uh-huh. Just keep stacking them up, wizard. I've got like 1.5 feet on you. Just wait until I get legs again. So, sleep for the night, head out in the morning. Hopefully we can be back by sunset, being generous if we leave early enough. Hugar, how long would the ritual take once we have the components we need?
Just a couple hours. I need about an hour or so to put everything together, and then the actual ritual to turn you back takes about an hour.
And then while we're up there, we can check and see any clues or information Tua might have left behind. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
All right. That seems about as good a plan as any, I'm sure. We should definitely get some rest and head off in the morning. Early as possible, I think, might be wise.
Sounds good.
Well, if you're ready to bed down, by all means, if you find a door, open it, and it's most likely a bedroom. And pick any one that you'd like. There's multiples around here, and if you need anything, by all means, just shout, and I'll probably be able to hear you.
yes, thank you. Vinny's actually gonna go and inspect the trophies and the pictures.
Yeah.
It's, with his passive perception, he would have seen, or would have noticed at least.
Yeah, what is your passive perception one more time?
18.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Like, as you are passing up this area and just kind of like perusing it, you do see the same like laurel golden pendant that's kind of like on a rope or like on a ribbon. You see the little plaque that says Saviors of the Township of Rodea. And then like underneath it, as you kind of get closer, you can see now that Hugar the Humble is the first name on the plaque, but there are 3 beneath it. There is an Augusto Harkin, a Sylvette Terran, and a Roland Misk that are beneath them.
And then I'll head upstairs and find a room.
Perfect. As you go to find the closest or the first door that you find that kind of calls to you, you touch the doorknob, and as you touch the doorknob, you kind of look down for a moment before you twist it, and you realize that the doorknob has now changed in your hand, and now is this very smooth, circular purple stone. You kind of discern that is an amethyst. It's very soft. And as you turn, you get that lilac, lavender, fresh smell as you walk into the room. And what would Finney's utopian bedroom look like?
Very simple. A bookshelf, a bed big enough for 2 people, a nice window with a view of a lilac tree, just a small chest at the foot of the bed, and 2 desks on either side.
Perfect. And that is what you open the door, and that is what you see.
Wizards.
Anybody else? What's everybody else doing? As the evening winds down, you see that Hugar is putting everything away from dinner, cleaning up, pretty much getting in his bed regalia, and kind of just making sure there are candles lit in, small corners of the establishment so you all can see if you need to in the middle of the night, and waves a little small wave to the rest of you who are sitting at the table before heading up a stairway into a door to presumably go to bed.
Yeah, I think Eve. Oh, go ahead.
No, you carry on.
I think for Eva, it will be like she finishes her food and that post-food coma will hit, especially since she was already just having an excited moment of like story recalling. And so I think after she's finished her food, it's going to be pretty much like, if I don't move now, I'm never going to get out of this chair. I'm heading up.
I was actually just about to suggest if you perhaps wanted to come to the bar with me. Gold to be made, you know.
What's the time?
Time is a concept.
As you say time, you see a little cuckoo clock, kind of like cuckoo in the corner, and you see it's like 10:30 at night.
To the bars.
Wow, that was easy to convince you.
What made you think it would be difficult? What about the past made you think this is going to be a real hard sell?
Finny goes to bed at a decent hour, and Barry and Cassandra Barry and Eva go to the bar. This is all completely in character. We're good. This is on brand.
Cassandra, how does this work? Do you just sleep in your bottle? Do you want to stay there? Do you want to come to the bar?
I
fear her getting drank in a bar.
I haven't actually needed to sleep since this happened. I wonder if I can... Hugar. Sort of
you just hear like this booming voice kind of echo through the chamber. Yes?
Do you have a chessboard you can set me in front of?
No, Precisely. Don't worry. And then as he says that, you lift up and you see a chessboard kind of like swoop in, and then all of a sudden there is this nice like duo like chessboard table with like one chair, and then on the chair is like a stand for you to sit on, and then there is the chessboard that is immediately in front of you, and then there is an empty chair on the other side. And before you know it, an apparition of just like an elven, like just this elven ambiguous humanoid kind of just like sits there and like moves a piece. And then as you think about a move, that move is made then on the chessboard.
Okay. She is going to immediately just move all the pieces off except for a rook, a bishop, a knight, and she's going to have the opponent play with a queen and just have the kings like off in a corner, and she's just going to sit and move pieces and then reset them and then move pieces and reset them. She's just gonna like strategy her way through the night since
absolutely. And use like through the experience, Hugar also booms in and tells you how to basically work and maneuver the apparition, just in case you do want to work out certain strategies so that they move without you telling them to move. Like he kind of works you through basically this robotic process of practicing chess.
Right. Awesome. That's her for the rest of the night. She's just like
Perfect.
Zeroed in.
Perfect. And we are now to Barry and Eva, who are off to the bars for some nightlife.
I mean, I'm happy to just montage this, you know.
Yeah, we can So what's the goal and objective? Are we montaging a show, or what would you like to do?
I imagine it's going to be not too dissimilar from the getting everybody drunk and rallying them up and
Perfect.
kind of having just a bit of a hype fest, but also maybe if there was a way we can get some gold from it, like even if it's just busking, leaving a hat out while doing performances.
Oh yeah. And no one actually explicitly told Barry that we weren't gonna be okay with an audience. So I'm telling everyone that we're gonna be going to the mine to kill the basilisk and that we'll be selling tickets.
Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow. 10 p.m.
Okay,
Eastern.
I'm gonna roll a d20 to see how well you convince an audience. So I will roll for the audience. I want both of you to roll me percentiles.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow, are we trying to roll high or low?
Okay, well, you're both rolling for different things. Eva, you were rolling for the percentage of you getting paid, and you rolled high. So please roll me 2d12. And Scrat, you were rolling for the getting like the hype up of the audience that you currently have, which was low. You did like a couple people are out and about, and like some of them are just like trying to get home. You see they're like tired, it's work, like they've been working all day. Some of them just really aren't down to party this evening. But the ones that you do get out, like you get a solid group of like 8 people that are just so sold on you. Like and you put out the hat and all 8 people sit there and all 8 people sit and shell out as much gold as they have in their pockets, and they have, between the both of you, get 5 measly gold coins out of this small, quaint little it's almost like an acoustic jam sesh is kind of what it turns out to be. It's not really like this big exciting thing like the fish hammock was. It's more of a quaint gathering, but you do the people that you do tell that you the people that come that you tell are that you're going to fight the basilisk, they go home and tell their family members and so. So you feel like you might get a little bit of a showing that you can hang out with and expect people to be there, but you're not quite sure.
Got you. I think, after a performance where hopefully at least the drinks were free.
Like the
profit.
people who came and enjoyed the show, like got you all drinks, just kind of were like where they set it down in front of your busking hat and just like step away and enjoy.
I had a funny feeling earlier today when I popped by to herald my coming that it wouldn't be a great showing. The little girl I spoke to just wasn't excited at all, and you should always be suspicious of a place where the children don't get excited, I say.
It's very true. Kids are the epitome of excitement. If they can't get hyped, then I don't know who can.
Yes. Maybe it was something to do with the axe, though. Do you think maybe we should do less sales and music at the same time? Try and focus it in, or maybe diversify further? Maybe I should have done a bit more illusion.
Maybe. Or maybe next time we need to, actually act out as though there's a basilisk there or something. Make it a bit more dramatic.
As I imagine we're finished, it's the end of the night, there's only those few regulars left in. I mean, I could major illusion of Basilisk in the room right now, just to, put some pep in people.
I might at least get the drunks out of the bar in time for the barmaid to go home on time.
That's true. Always good to be in the good graces of the staff. I should probably warn them first, though. They may not like the sound of that. Actually, it might put future customers off.
Well, if you're afraid of a few basilisks, if a few basilisks are gonna get away in the way of your brews, then are you really a true tavern goer?
I'm not sure I agree with that one, Eva. That seemed a little, I don't know, gatekeepy. I mean, surely everyone should be allowed to go to the bar. Like, everyone.
Oh, yeah. I just mean those that get to know about the event are the ones that get to go.
Oh, yes, I guess that does make sense. How many drinks have you had?
I don't know, but my tankard's really empty right now, and this is a problem.
I don't know either, but I do know that bottle of whiskey I had in my pocket is empty.
Do you tend to do all of this to distract yourself when you get a little bit scared, or is it just me?
Me scared? I'm an all-powerful wizard.
Eva's just gonna smile at that. And just a little bit of a knowing smile. Yeah, me neither. And at that point, I think it'll be a bit of a head to bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You collect yourselves, you collect the small amount of gold that you have received for the evening. You say goodbye to the patrons who were your audience for the evening as well. And you make yourself all the way back to your friends and the wizard's tower. The door opens automatically for you. You all kind of stumble up the stairs, which seems so much shorter than last time for some one odd reason or another. There's less stairs that you need to climb in this condition. And you all pick a bedroom. And as you pick a bedroom, Eva, your handle turns to a nice green emerald color, very shiny, smooth stone as well. When you open the door, your utopian bedroom, whatever you shall decide it being, awaits you inside. And Barry, the knob for your door turns a bright blue stone.
Is there a sock on it?
There is not a sock on your door.
Then in I
However, yeah. Perfect. And you all bed down for an evening and get a long night's rest. Yay, sleep.
Great.
And before you know it, your eyeballs flutter awake, and it is the bright beacon of morning. And as you do flutter your eyes awake, you are greeted with the one thing that you could have imagined being woken up by that would just cause you the most amount of joy. That is what wakes you up. Maybe it's the sound of birds chirping. Maybe it's the sound of squirrels running up a tree. Whatever you imagine waking up to that would cause you the most joy. That is how you wake up. If anyone wants to share what that is, you're more than welcome.
You know that tune that starts off, I can't remember what the name of it, and I'm going to kick myself and not remembering it right now, but the do 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 that early morning.
Yeah.
Morning. It's called morning.
It's called morning. Okay, yeah. So she hears morning. It's like for Eva, it's like a whole big thing of almost like a Disney princess style of the perfect morning wake up. You know, it's the like, I wake up and the sun is already shining, and oh, look at these wonderful critters that are coming up and like helping me. And if a pigeon wanders in, though, she's gonna smack that thing away.
You don't have any birds that fly through your window. Anything that would cause you discomfort does not happen. You have the most beautiful and
all the other
awakening
birds
morning.
are fine. Just pigeons terrify Eva. The little rodents with feathers, with disease and germs and. So Eva will have her Disney princess-esque morning, probably come down seeming a little bit too joyous for a woman who is meant to be fighting a basilisk that day.
For Barry, it's just someone who sounds slightly younger yelling, "Tampa Phi Kappa rules!" And he's up.
I love how Barry just perpetually lives in his college days. Like, I love
Pretty
this.
amazing. It's pretty fantastic.
So what?
Finney pulls out of his trance to the smell of pancakes.
I love it so much. Cassandra, do you play chess all night and into the morning?
Oh yeah, if she doesn't need to sleep, she's just going to every conceivable situation she can imagine putting herself in or putting her compatriots in. She's just running through them over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see as everyone wakes up and comes to join in the common area once again, Cassandra is still playing chess, and you see like this apparition, this ambiguous apparition just kind of like tearing at its hair and just sitting there like rubbing its temples and just like
just one more.
Yeah, because it's been going for hours now, and not only has it been going for hours, Cassandra has constantly been feeding this apparition into the dirt with her fire chess skills.
Oh, morning, I guess. Sorry, and she turns to the apparition, just, guess I got a little out of hand.
Can Eva look down at the board and she would like to see if she could make a move.
Yes, absolutely. Roll me an intelligence check.
Cool. I'm not very good at that, I don't think.
Yeah, straight intelligence.
All right.
You have an advantage you could use.
Oh yeah, can I use my advantage?
Yep, I'll just take the higher.
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. You do see, like, as you look down, you immediately spot the next move that can be made that would put Cassandra in like a precarious place. It would actually back her up in her progress.
So Eva makes the move and Cassandra just goes,
Yeah.
huh. That
And as you do so, like the apparition like slams its hands down on the table and looks over at Eva and looks back at Barry, and then just like motions for the for Eva to like sit in the chair where the apparition was sitting, and then the apparition will just like poof away.
That's not Wait, hold on a second. And Cassandra's just gonna like zero back in and just look and go, I think that's mate. Shit.
I have my moments. They're really pure luck.
Chess is fucking
They
stupid.
might
Are you
as
guys
well
ready?
just- Sure. And Eva will pick up Cassandra's bottle as delicately as possible. She'll kind of hold it up as almost like you're at her eye height.
So, the biggest thing we have in our favor is numbers. Basilisks tend to be solitary creatures, and even if it has mated, if its eggs are unhatched, which hopefully they would be if it has any, basilisk younglings are kicked out of the nest pretty soon from childbirth. So, It's going to be 1 versus 3. We need to pressure that advantage. Barry, if you have anything that can give it more and more targets, its gaze is, if you know to avert your eyes, it can only look at one thing at a time.
Oh, I can create... How many of me do you want?
That's, I can't run the numbers that well, but 3 or so, maybe on top of yourself, just to give it as many targets as possible, split its attention, and just keep firing off attacks. I think that's going to be the best way to use your illusions. Vinny will be able to keep everyone alive and well, and Ava is full of surprises, so I think that this might work. As long
I'm
as...
the wild card.
Yes, you are, my darling.
I can keep everyone alive, and I can also provide it with a little bit more damage from a distance as well, if that's what we're looking for, to take it down quickly.
Good. All right, well, guess we should start making our way. Should we tell Hugar we're leaving? Or just roll out?
Well, I think Hugo can actually hear us from any point in the house.
Oh, shit. Your apparition's he's not stupid, it's just... Listen. We're leaving.
Oh, hang on, let me go and get dressed. Because we weren't in a tavern tonight, Barry had come down in just like tighty whities and billowing coke.
Captain Underpants?
I love it.
Is that not what you usually wear?
You know damn well it's not. And hat, of course. Doesn't go anywhere without his hat. He'll rush back upstairs and throw on a cloak.
He has to make sure he puts on the brown pants today. It's fine.
Yeah, well. At least he'll be scared of something valid.
As this is all happening, Cassandra, when you yell up and like question if you should say bye to Hugar just in that booming kind of echoey, almost like the PA system voice, kind of like billows out and says, leave when you need. I am to my studies, taking care of some things. If you need me, I can always come down, but the door will be open for you when you come back. And like I said, if you need me, Finny has a way to contact me. Best of luck, and I hope you all survive.
Well, hey, push come to shove, you could just pop this cork open and hope for the best.
Do you think if someone was to drink you, Cassandra, that you could take over their body from the inside?
No one is allowed to drink me except for about 3 people, maybe 4. 3.
Eva's now going to go into a wild imagination of, wait, who can drink Cassandra?
Barry does the complete opposite.
Interesting to say.
I'm just wondering if perhaps the Basilisk was to consume us, then perhaps you could come back and avenge us as the Basilisk.
If that happens, I will most definitely avenge you. But you guys will be fine. You're very resourceful. We got this.
That I think we do. All right.
As we go there, Eva will, play a little jaunty tune to try and rally up some bardic inspiration for them. Like a little marching tune.
Yeah. And as you do that, Hugar kind of like PA systems out again and says, oh, I packed you all some rations for the day. Here you are. And then they all come. So depending on what colors your doorknobs were, the handkerchiefs that kind of encapsulate your little rationed pack lunch are float on to everybody. And Cassandra's, yours appears in front of you. And you have a black handkerchief kind of wrapped up.
Thanks, Dad.
Now have a good time. Don't die. And you all buy all of that plus Eva's little inspiration tune. I will give you all inspiration.
Awesome.
You have magically packed lunches in a wizard's tower You're about to go fight a basilisk, and Eva is playing a jaunty little adventure tune. Everybody's feeling high spirits right now. You had the best night of sleep ever.
Yeah, that.
Yes. All right. And as you all prepare and leave the wizard's tower, where do you go first? Are you grabbing your horses to traverse, or are you trying to do this on foot?
I think horses might be best to get there a little bit more expediently. Time is of the essence, after all. All right. Ava, Cassandra, would you like to ride in my pocket today, like you did the other day, or no?
I think I'll ride with Eva this time.
That's fair.
Perfect. So you'll fetch your horses, Barry.
Yeah, I'll Carbon, I believe it was called, the most ferocious horse I've ever seen.
Yeah. You all grab your horses, which were tied kind of close to the center of town by the well, if I was not mistaken. They have all been transferred. Like, you kind of go outside of the wizard tower, and they're all just kind of like tied up right for you, where you like right next to where you had put them, right in the center of town, but now it's moved, and you just kind of like double check for a second. You're like, okay, I guess. And your horses are right there for you. And Retcon, he told you to head south, north out of the town, and that there was a path. But it was just a couple hours, pretty much a straight shot. Who is going to be leading the charge, and who would like me to make the survival check to see how fast and how well you get there?
Ooh.
Well, we all know that I'm very good at survival checks. If you all want me to direct, I will gladly navigate once more.
No.
I could do that, I suppose. Again?
Please.
Certainly.
Perfect, yeah. It takes you a couple minutes to find the path once you start heading out of town, because there's like, it's not really directional. There's the path out of town that you took in, and then it's just kind of like grassy area. And then you see the path start off. So it takes you a couple minutes to start on it. But once you're on the path, Vinny, you are just directing them straight forward. You and your horse, Henry are the head of the pack. Everyone else is following closely behind. And it takes you, out of the estimated 4 or 5 hours, it takes you about 3.5 to get there. And you, as you trot up to the little opening where you see coming out of the grassy area, everybody make me a perception check.
As we're riding, I definitely say to Eva, mispronounce my name.
Well, with a perception of 5.
Not quite, but close enough. You see, you found it. You found the Basilisk.
The Basilisk.
Stop, for the love of God. I want to use an advantage on my perception.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
I need to update
absolutely.
with all that stuff from the hype train as well.
Basilisk.
Oh, good thing you did. Good thing you did.
So many disadvantages. So
Oh.
many.
I have so many. I can't wait. I can't wait. Absolutely. So yeah, as you are all kind of going through it's like not forested area. It's just much like high grass and a couple trees here and there. As you start to ease into the mining settlement, you start to see that there's a lot of tents kind of poking up from the high grass on the farther sides of the path. And as it kind of flattens out and the whole entire area becomes flat, you see like a couple shacks that have just kind of been thrown together. You see another couple tents, and then closer inwards, about 80 feet in front of you, you see it kind of dips below, and then there is a cavern opening that is about 90 to 100 feet beyond that. So kind of the elevation dips and then moves into the cave. And it's this big grassy knoll area. You can see a lot of the grass has been cut or flattened down. And there's just equipment. There's a couple mine carts. There's some pickaxes. There's some like rocks and debris being settled and gone through. You see a couple people like panning and having the whole water system. You do see like that on the far left side, and towards the far right you see like a couple of dwarves sitting and chatting like on some stumps and kind of taking what looks like to be a break.
Well, I think we found what we're looking for. Miss Umbermore or Mr. Knight, would one of you care to discuss with those fine fellows over there what we intend to do, and perhaps ask for a little bit of assistance?
Hi there!
Oh,
And she's like already walking over.
hello?
I stand with Finn, counting to 10.
So I was wondering if, we're here to, kill a nice little basilisk. Would you like to join us? And I would like to use suggestion.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, absolutely. What do I have to do?
I think I have suggestion, right? At this level?
I only took 6 seconds.
We have a job and we want to do it.
Yes, I do. There it is. Cool. I
Okay.
knew I had it.
Charisma
All right,
save versus your spell DC.
Yes.
What is it?
Charisma save.
Oof. What do I have to beat?
Target must. Target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. Okay, cool.
What's your spell save DC?
8 plus proficiency plus your charisma.
14 is my spell
Okay.
save DC.
They both fail. They are not wise creatures. They both fail. And they sit there, and the one kind of like goes to like question you, and then stops for a second and goes, I could probably go for that. What about you? You want to go help them? And the other one just kind of like, yeah, I think I do.
Okay, well, do me a small favor, and she would like to take out from her pack one like of like a little personal like little mirror, and one just like a couple of like ribbons or like bits of cloth.
Yeah.
And she's going to actually blindfold one and try to somehow fashion the mirror in front of the eyes of the other one.
Okay.
So that his eyes are kind of reflected.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
You hear Cassandra actually laugh from your pouch.
Like horse blinders. It's like horse blinders, but with a mirror.
Yeah. Give who? Hold on. I need to see what I want you to roll for that, because you don't have like any tinkerer's tools or anything like that, correct?
No, but I think I have a disguise kit.
Okay, so give me a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
Okay. And then give me a check with your disguise kit. So D20 plus proficiency, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. D20 plus my proficiency. Well, that makes it a 4. Gosh darn it. Wow.
Okay.
My rolls are not good today.
Okay, so you know the concept that you are trying to execute. However, in the execution, it's like you get it, and then one starts to dip a little bit, and then like you'll readjust it, and then it starts to slide down like the actual blindfold, and then like you're having a hard time fixating it to where it can stay and be stable and they can move.
Cass will just sort of chirp up. Are you going for like a modern art thing, or what are you doing?
And like a kid who's trying to frustratedly build something that they have in their head but don't have the skills to do, it's just like, I don't want to see anything. I want you to have reflect to the
okay.
I'm going to count to a lot more than 10, Finn. I was going to head over after 10, but on second thought, I think Eva's got this covered.
She's got something covered for certain.
Well,
And you just see this one guy's one eye like reappear again.
Yeah. Like, very much so.
Well, firstly, darling, shouldn't they be able to see until we get closer? I don't think it's waiting for us around the first corner. Right.
I just imagine like a
Secondly-
chain of everyone holding hands, like walking like one step at a time.
We were going to be buddies, you know? We were going to be walk buddies, all right? We were using a buddy system.
And secondly, I do like your idea that you got going on here, and that mirror will come in handy. But maybe you can just keep workshopping it until we get a little closer. Keep working on your design.
Well, they're at least willing to fight. Right, aren't you, boys?
Yep. They just both
Yep.
like extend thumbs up.
And
Miss Embermore, do either of them know where the basilisks are?
oh, do you actually know where it is?
They both look at each other and go, "Nope."
No.
Probably should have led with that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, at least we have more people ready for the fight.
Yep. Well done.
How long does suggestion last?
I was just about to ask that. An hour? Oh yeah, an hour. Yeah, you're. It's been about 4 minutes.
Oh, it
Yeah.
lasts up to 8 hours.
Yep, it's been like 4 minutes. Is it concentration or does it just last?
No, it's concentration.
Concentration.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
So yeah, as soon as I do anything else in the battle as concentration, they'll suddenly be like, "What? We're fighting a basilisk!" It's gonna be great. Good times. Good times. They're not unsuspecting. at all.
No. Perhaps we should try to find someone that knows a little something.
I do find it hard to believe that people are actively working out of this mine and no one's heard of a basilisk. That's a bit odd.
Maybe it's one of those things where it's stuck in a lower level, you know? They found the basilisk, there was a bit of a cave-in. No, it's stuck down there.
Oh, we also literally just asked the first person we saw.
That would
Perhaps
suck
a little bit more
if that was
investigation
correct,
might be prudent. Excuse me, fellows. Would either of you would not know necessarily where Basilisk is, but would you know who would know, perhaps?
The one of them who is they're both dwarven men. One has big burly red hair, long beard. It's braided. He's got like little spectacles that sit like very close to the edge of his nose, and he's the one who speaks up and says, "Oh well, the mining captain is down by the entrance. You might want to ask him. We honestly just got on the job yesterday, so don't know much of anything. But the people who are still working down there, there's more of them. You might want to ask them."
Excellent. Yes.
How deep have they
Let's
dug?
go.
It's hard to say. I know that they ran into some issues a couple days ago, and that's why there's a couple of more of us here now as a sort of a buffer. They didn't have enough, and now they need more. I don't know if those other men or women, something happened, or if they just need more manpower for what they found. Like I said, we just got in yesterday. We're actually waiting to be debriefed so that we can go in and help.
Well,
Well, that's not a good sign.
bold of you to take a job without, really knowing the dangers. Well done.
Times are a little bit tough around here. People keep disappearing, so gotta do what we can to keep families and mouths fed.
As he says, like, times are tough around here, my eyes immediately stray to my gold back. Is not small.
All right, let's try and find the foreman. Get this show on the road.
Let's go, I suppose.
Cool.
Eva, darling, I don't actually have legs. You have to go find the foreman. Thank you.
As you start walking into the settlement and kind of like start to traverse down the little hill before you get into the cave opening, you crest that little hilltop and you start to see that there are like at least 15 other dwarven miners now down this hill that are kind of like gathering up carts on a track. Some of them are getting like lantern materials, some of them have pickaxes, some of them are just empty, and you start to see like them push them into the mine and kind of like light there are these poles with lanterns attached to the mine cart. You see them lighting them and pushing them in and kind of walking alongside them.
Do we find the foreman?
Who is specifically looking for the foreman? Or is everybody?
Would be definitely looking.
Okay, give me another perception check. Yeah, whoever's looking for the foreman.
Perceive.
Oh, I see the foreman.
Okay. You see through the foreman.
You see 5
Yeah, so both Anita and Fiddy and Barry both at the same time kind of like scan the joint, and over towards the right hand side you see a older looking dwarven man, now silver, his hair long but his beard nice and taut to his jaw, very broad features, like burly husky man, and on his back is strapped a giant warhammer. Compared to him, it's like twice his size, and to the point where like as he's turning, he's kind of like hitting people with like the shaft of it and not even recognizing it. He's just like not paying attention to anything besides what's immediately in front of him. But you see a gruff, short man kind of like push his way through people, and you see him like directing where others are supposed to go, and you hear him kind of chime up and go, "Oi, come on, we got to get everything in there." And you assume this is the foreman.
Roll up. Hey there! I'd like to discuss a minor inconvenience.
No.
Okay, can I ask you who you are and what you're doing near my mine?
We're here to sort out the Basilisk, the minor inconvenience.
What's up?
And he'll like pull your robe to like separate off from the people, because as you say this, you just see like a bunch of miners like turn their heads at you, and he just like pulls you off into like a little subsection away from everybody and waves for the rest of you to follow, and kind of like as other one like waves with one hand and then pushes away the other miners that are trying to join, and pulls you in and like pulls you down basically and goes, "Oh, come on, I don't want you scaring all of my miners away. You gotta be quiet. But yes, we do have a problem. Did Hugok send you?"
Yes, funnily enough, he did.
He's been helping us out. Tuva left a while ago, hasn't come back. We've been asking him and he won't tell us any answers. And now this thing shows up in our mine out of nowhere. Things are getting crazy, people are disappearing, and now we got beasts showing up where they normally don't belong.
I say, you mean to say that all these miners are working without knowing the dangers involved? Oof. That sounds awfully legal.
We found a chamber that has been housing the Basilisk. We kept that chamber separate from where the rest of the mining operation is supposed to go, and we're trying to keep it contained until somebody of your caliber, thank you, has shown up to try and take care of it.
So you're saying that the Basilisk just sort of appeared one day?
It's what it appeared to do. We were mining in the same shaft we had been mining at for weeks, and nothing alluded to it being near its habitat. We didn't find it. We left, it came back one day, and it was there.
Okay, friend, you're with professionals now. Now, we will, of course, get rid of the Basilisk for you. Now, our usual rate for Basilisk extermination would be a very dangerous job, you understand. I think that's what, 100 gold pieces each? That's the going rate, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. And you see him kind of like look at his pocketbook and kind of like look back at you, and
Of course, we can always just let everyone know that the mine's unsafe and shut the thing down. That's
No.
up to-
No. There will be no such thing. Okay. I will pay you. But 50 gold apiece, times are tough, and I go to pay my men. 50 gold pieces apiece, and tell Hugo to get anything else you may need afterwards. I wasn't supposed to pay for this operation, but I will be paying, especially if you can do it today.
Of course we can do it today. We're professionals. We do this all the time. 75 gold pieces.
Roll me a persuasion check.
That's perception, sorry.
That's so
That is,
The dice want what the dice want.
Yeah, the dice want what the dice want.
Yeah.
He goes, 50's all I can do, boy. That's all I can do. And that's everything I have back in my coin purse. And that's my personal coin purse.
We'll take a moment to confer, if you don't mind.
And he like steps away and gives you some space.
You're an
Sounds-
asshole.
Yes, just give him a minute to sweat.
Well, that's 150 gold pieces, because I don't think he's going to be giving one to the bottle that he was carrying.
That's true.
Though, Mr. Knight, you can have half of my share,
Don't care.
if that's what you care about.
No, not at all.
Though I'm a bit vexed. This is interesting. What are the odds of the exact thing we need being in this exact mine at this
Yeah.
exact time?
I don't
Conveniently,
like it
at the same time, Cassandra has been turned into a potion.
And Huagar is been helping them, and all of a sudden we're here happening to need a basilisk thing. I've got a feeling. Look, I'm not saying that game knows game. I'm not saying that. But I smell a con.
I do as well. It's all too convenient.
Something odd, for sure. Basilisk just apparated. We sure he went to the Feywild? Maybe he went somewhere else.
Maybe.
Never trust the humble men, the ones that have retired. Never trust them. Every time you just about put your feet under the table, and then before you know it, they're getting you to do their dirty work.
Though, it doesn't seem we have much of an option.
No, and at
No,
least
in
we're
In
getting
either
paid.
case, we're getting paid. Well, you're getting paid. At least we'll be able to maybe do some good here.
Hopefully. Make sure one of you asks him about Tuva. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. I don't want to freak him out with more magical oddities than he already has to deal with.
I can helm that investigation. I'm certain. Good sir.
Yes. Sorry. I didn't see that you were done. And he's joins you again.
We will definitely agree to your terms and assist in any way that is necessary. Though we actually did have occasion to meet you, your Tuva. I'm sorry to say she's not well.
Unfortunately, I was afraid of that outcome. As soon as I saw her condition get worse and she couldn't really remember things and started being super aggressive, I knew something was taking hold of her. Have you figured out what?
Not insofar. Though we have, unfortunately, her family didn't make it. She's surviving, but not thriving, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Depends on your definition
But
of
we
thriving,
found
really.
more cases similar to hers in our travels. We seem to be on the way to find the root of this cause. Apologies, that was a bit unkind.
No apology needed. It is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. Unfortunately, this is just one of those times. But thank you for letting me know of her condition. At least somebody is keeping us aware. We do, or we did, or we do, if she's still with us, care about her very much.
She's being looked after on Ophia. They're doing what they can to keep her comfortable.
Well, that's all we hope for, is her to be comfortable in these times, even if she doesn't make it. As long as she has a comfortable exit, that's all we care about. Guiding her on.
You were saying Hugo wasn't keeping you apprised of her condition? You said you sent her to see him?
He's the one who watches over Prophet, and that's the closest township to the mine. I figured he, of all people in the area, would be able to help her, and then when we found out he sent her to Ophia, we got concerned. Gravely concerned, because if Hugo can't help, we don't know many people in the entire continent that can. He's one of the best, if not the best.
Yes. But, there's hope. Perhaps we can find some sort of, cure, in our travels. We're looking. But, thank you for your time. We'll get on this, right away.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need anything, my name is Grimmin, and, anybody here will hopefully be able to help you just as much as I.
Thank you, Grimmin.
Not a problem. And he starts to walk off, and some of the miners kind of gathered, and you see that we're kind of almost gossiping what's going on. These people show up out of nowhere, and you see him kind of go into the group and kind of quell their anxieties and just it's fine, just go back to work, get the carts ready, and he's starts getting everybody back in motion. And this is where we will break for a couple hot minutes before we get into y'all traversing inside of the actual cave.
Awesome.
Indeed. So everyone, grab a bio, grab a drink, stretch your legs out a little bit, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.